All right. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. We have Jordy, we have SA95 and Fatality on behalf of the team at Torogram. TORO is their ticker symbol. The project launched on Ethereum December the 4th, small starting cap. And I mean, they've touched around 600K all-time high, currently sitting about 300. But you guys know I'm not a chart guy. You know, anybody in our community here at Caesars knows I'm not so much concerned about the chart, especially when we're talking about a utility or longer term play. What I care about is the team active? What do the development updates look like? How's the adoption? What's the feedback from the community? Are people enjoying the actual platform? What are some of the benefits to holders, as the platform scales up? And is it really a good incentive to continue to hold and build out, with the team? So again, so far, really impressed by what they've done. This is the first project here by the guys at Torogram, but as I said, utility projects, that's not a bad thing in my opinion. I like the UI, I like the platform, some of the ease of use features, what's included right now in what they're doing. And I know they have some big updates and some big additions coming to the platform with phase 2 and phase 3 underway. Definitely go through and pull up the website, pull up the white paper throughout so you guys can follow along the conversation a bit easier. But yeah, no, really impressed by the actual platform. Jordy's excitement about the product that they're building out there. He does seem pretty passionate about what's kind of cooking behind the scenes. And as you guys know, for me, that's really important with anything utility or long-term. So, make sure you guys are paying attention. Make sure you guys do jump into the community, after or during the AMA, just to kind of go through, see what the vibe is like and do some additional research. But yeah, really excited to have the team come by. A bit of a lower cap, project than we typically host, but really impressed by the actual development. And I'm excited to see what Jordy and the team have planned for the future there at Torogram. So again, catchy name. Like the UI on the platform, so I will throw the mic over to the team. And if you guys wanted to just introduce yourself and kind of a brief, more personal kind of experience in crypto, and then you can transition into more of the project introduction if that works.
Yeah, sure. I will start with the introduction. So my name is Jordy. I'm 28 years old. I'm from the Netherlands. And my journey in development began when I was 13 years old. I started to build an interest in building emulation games. You all know the game. It's RuneScape. So I found, when I was 13 years old, I found some emulated versions of the game. And I thought, well, I want to create something like that too. So I started doing my research on development. And when I was 16 years old, I ran my first emulated game version of RuneScape with over 1,000 players online at peak times. So when I was 16 years old, I decided to move on to learn about app development, about website development. So I studied programming in the Netherlands. And while I was studying, I worked at a pizza restaurant. And the owner there noticed I was very good with software. So he asked me to create a special app for planning when employees have to work. So employees can see their shifts in an app and register their work times. So I accepted this challenge and made the app. And this was the start of my very own business. Right now I'm running a software as a service business in employee schedulement with my boss. So yeah, that's my introduction.
Thanks so much, Jordy.
Hey guys, I don't mind jumping in next. Thanks again for having us, Maurice, and a late Happy New Year to everyone. So I'll just give a very brief background into what I've been doing, how I came into the space, how I came into Torogram. So to begin with, my name is Sultan. I'm 28 years old, and I work as the social media manager at Torogram. So just give a bit of context into my generic background. It includes a PhD in statistics as well as extensive experience as a market research consultant. So with crypto and just my journey and how I got into it, it really started in 2017, although my interest of it really grew in 2020 during the whole COVID-19 pandemic. I'm sure a lot of you had a lot of spare time as well during that period of time. So there was a lot of like time where I was reading about the market. I developed a fairly strong knowledge base into the different narratives and sectors that were emerging within the markets, and got pretty accustomed to looking at where there were gaps. So like fast forward a few years later, and I found Jordi. So this was after the 1-2 years of the bear market. I found Jordi. I loved the work he was doing. I loved how he was as a founder. He's really engaging. And I asked to join around, I think it was early December. So what I do at the moment is I manage the social media channels of Torogram. So this includes things such as the Medium page, Twitter account, as well as the Telegram channel. And I largely communicate the exciting developments as well as the plans that we have in place for the project to the wider community. Along with that as well, I'm focused on increasing the number of users that are signed up to our platform. So I do this through exciting incentives, promotions, and I'm also working on developing potential partnerships with other projects. So I think that gives a fairly good overview of what I do in my background. And yeah, thanks again for having me.
Awesome.
Hey guys, now a short introduction from my side. I'm Hendrik, 31 years old and living in Germany. And I'm supporting Jordi in advisory capacities and partly responsible for the design and the marketing of Toro. I also work in logistics as head of 2 departments, and I acquired my skills in my studies in Germany in marketing and design. And I'm not sure. I'm about, I think, 3-4 months into Toro, and I'm already 3 years or 4 years into cryptos. And yeah, I love the project, and I love to support Jordi in every manner I can support. And yeah, that's from my side so far.
Yeah, Fatality was a great help too. Both very well and very nice team members of Torogram, helping to progress the project even further. So yeah, that was the introduction of the core members of Torogram.
And I appreciate
Thank you,
all 3
Maurice.
of you jumping up and introducing yourself and kind of how you've been able to help out the team and really what led you to jumping on board. And I'd love to throw it back to you, Jordi, now to kind of break down and introduce us fully to what Torogram is, what it's all about. And as I kind of said in my introduction, just making sure that you're touching on the actual Toro token as well throughout that introduction. But yeah, really excited to have you guys here. As I said, at only 300K, impressed by the development that's gone into it, and the knowledge depth. It seems like when it comes to application development. So yeah, it definitely seems like you have a good base, and I'm excited to see what you guys can continue to build. So with that being said, I'll pass you the mic back, and you can jump into it a little bit further.
Sure. So why we started Torogram is, well, we noticed something was missing in the Web3 space. There was no social media platform for Web3 completed, at least. And most social media today control too much. They don't let you talk freely about crypto, and you can't advertise crypto projects. And there's no social media yet where you can connect to the Web3 and use DeFi Web3 tools. And that's where Torogram is going to be built. Torogram won't use any censorship. You can talk freely about crypto, and we don't ever control what you say on Torogram. In future developments, you're able to advertise your crypto projects. And we are building Web3 tools for the platform. So you can show your crypto holdings. You can show your NFTs. You can put it as your profile picture with a verification badge of the collection. You can view your portfolio right now. And in the future, next week or maybe in 2 weeks, you will be able to review your profits and losses and view your historic transactions from a token. So it will be a complete portfolio right in Torogram. And yeah, there's so much more Web3 features we are planning to build, like most profitable wallets and copy trading to build in Torogram. So yeah, why do we need this? Because it gives everyone more freedom and more customization options. With a Web3 social media like Torogram, you just get more control. You can be more open about crypto projects, and crypto ideas.
No, and I like that for sure. Now, we definitely seen, you know, some of these SocialFi type platforms come into the Web3 space, and I think it's a great idea. I mean, it is a good fit for crypto. I mean, we see with Twitter how that type of platform has really connected from an audience building and awareness generation standpoint. I still feel like Telegram is really kind of like that hub of the communities from an engagement standpoint, but you can't beat the reach that Twitter can provide, just in terms of like more Web2 user base as well, more traditional markets. And it's kind of like that good bridge, I would feel like. So yeah, no, I love that. Now for me, is there any token gating that you guys have in place with the platform, or is it going to be completely free to use for everybody to ensure that you guys can maximize adoption? And if that's the case, you know, just understanding what holding the token is going to get people like in the ecosystem or from a benefit standpoint will be really important, right? Because that's always the tough thing with these utility plays is sometimes the utility and the platform, the product is really, really good. But if the token connection or the token use case isn't really meshed well, sometimes the utility and like the chart, I guess, won't take off, even if adoption and growth starts to happen from a brand or platform perspective. So just making sure that you guys have the two aligned properly to support the growth and also support the chart to give you, you know, money back through the taxes and revenue sharing to kind of put to people. So yeah, I know long-winded, but just wanted to make sure you go through and touch on some of the token aspects for scaling.
Yeah, I can jump in for that question. Unless, Jordy, do you want to? Cool.
No,
so
I can.
What was that, sir? Do you want me to just jump in?
Oh, I can extend information if you're missing something. So go ahead.
Okay, great. So like, just to begin with, Maurice, the platform is free to use. So you wouldn't need to pay anything to be able to use the platform. In terms of the revenue generation as well as the utility of the token, that's something where a lot of thought has been given to it, because we do want to incentivize users to be able to use the platform, and holding token should have some kind of value towards, you know, the platform itself. So the way in which we are planning on generating revenue is allowing crypto project advertising. So what we're going to have is a top list on our platform. There will be a special page for the top list, and the crypto advertising will be shown in between posts. So you may think like, oh, which of these projects will we advertise? Like, what if one of them is a scam? What if one of them is a rug pull? So the way in which we will try to ensure that it is safe as possible is we can base and choose projects carefully, depending on their vision, the roadmap, the white paper, website, past projects, and they will need to dox themselves to us. So this is to increase the probability that it isn't a scam, it isn't a rug pull, and just to make sure that any projects that are being advertised on Torogram are, you know, legit and are, you know, something that can provide value to the users. Now, in terms of users having value through the token, the way in which we're going to do it is when we do generate the revenue, we're going to share a total of 40% of the revenue with two groups of people. The first group of people is the top 50 Toro holders. So the people who have the top 50 of the people who have the most number of Toro tokens will be rewarded 20 of that 40%. And then the remaining 20% will be rewarded to influencers that are using the platform. So essentially the way in which we will calculate influencers is going to be based on the amount of users that they bring, the activity they have on the channel in terms of interactions. And what we're going to do is we're going to count all of these factors, put in a formula to be able to calculate their share of the 20%. So in general, right now, everyone has a chance to either become a new influencer or upgrade as an influencer using Torogram and make money out of it. So that's how we're going to provide utility towards the token itself. Jordi, feel free to jump in if you think I missed anything.
Yeah, for sure. Also, we will create premium functions for Torogram where you can buy a subscription, and you have premium functions like putting the NFT as profile picture. Right now, it's all free to use to use an NFT as profile picture, and some Web3 features. But we will in the future get premium functions, and this will generate some revenue too for us. Also, people who hold Toro tokens will have the possibility to get these premium functions because of holding the Toro token. So I would like to add it to Sultan's brief explanation.
Oh, and I appreciate that, and definitely from like the free to use model is the way to go. And, it's not going to limit people, and also as you scale, you can, as you get like, a certain, I don't know if there's a forecast or a certain number of users or adoption that you guys would need, but you could also introduce, as we've seen with X and stuff like that, subscription models that aren't necessarily based around your native token, right? You could do it fiat based. Yeah. You could do it, if it's a yearly one, maybe have it in like a smaller form of Ethereum, like a 0.1 ETH or 0.05 ETH for a year-long subscription. Sure. There's like a lot of ways you could scale out revenue and kind of add in premium features like you would see in traditional social medias without having to almost like necessarily involve the token or put any inherent potential sell pressure if natives being rewarded or whatnot. So yeah, no, I think that's definitely smart. Now, when it comes to the UI, I think that, as I alluded to in my intro, is often one of the reasons why people are maybe a little bit more unwilling to change or try out a new social media platform. But from what I saw with the demos and jumping into the landing platform itself, looks really smooth, runs, it's fast. I've gone into some and it's been clunky. Certain images don't show. It's just like the way that the screen lays out is a little bit weird. But yeah, everything looked good visually, felt good, functionally to me. So I do want to talk about the UI and some of the things that you guys are set up to handle in terms of bandwidth, user numbers right now, and what you may have to do as your number of users within Torogram, for example, goes from like 5K to 50K or 5K to 100K. What might that look like on the back end? And sorry, my dog's right beside me barking into the hallway. What might look back on the back end as you guys are scaling to meet the demand that the growth in users would kind of look like? So yeah, kind of like UI bandwidth question and kind of what your setup or what your changes would look like as the scaling happens.
Yeah, so very simple for the UI. It's we keep it simple, and by keeping it simple, you keeping it great, because simplicity is the key to make people use the platform. In terms of bandwidth, I'm very experienced in back-end programming. I started with back-end programming when I was 30 years old. Right now, I run a business with over 20,000 employees who use the app. So I'm pretty confident in how to manage and design service to handle these type of bandwidth and usage of the platform.
And what are you set up for right now? I guess how many users could you support at any given time on the platform? Like if you had a mass rush of signups and like you guys pumped to like 10K active users, would that change anything to the platform functionality, or what would that do now to the actual like business, like generating revenue and that side of things as well?
It won't cause any harm because I've got 3 more servers ready to use, and when one server is like packed with let's say 10,000 of users, and the server says no, I can't handle this anymore, we can either upgrade it or pull the next person over the 10,000 to the second server. So it's like a pool of servers to handle all the users who are using Torogram.
Okay.
So yeah, we are quite ready for it. You always should be ready for it. If like you said, we can pump to like 1 million or 10 million, let's say, and we get 10,000 users on the platform. We have to be ready. So yeah, we've thought of that.
So like in the early stages, we'll maybe go back, and I apologize. Like I said, it's kind of informal. So I may be a little bit back and forth throughout the AMA, but I did want to go back to kind of like the early experience and maybe walk through some of the comments and feedbacks that you guys have received from people who have been active on the platform, posting on the platform, or maybe some of those projects that you may have already gone through the doxing process with, or are in the stages of kind of getting them onboarded.
So Sultan, you want to cover that, or?
Yeah, happy to. Maurice, would you mind just repeating what you just said? My audio cut out a bit. I just want to make sure
100%. I was just kind of hoping that you guys could walk us through what have you guys, I wanted to transition to the feedback. So like walk us through some of the feedback that you guys have gotten from people active on the platform, maybe how you guys have implemented some of that feedback, if there's been any changes or additions made based on community suggestions, and then what the feedback has been like through the process when you guys are going through with projects of like doxing them and getting them posted. So kind of twofold: users and then project-based feedback.
Yeah. It's been an iterative process more than anything. I think one of the great things about our project is the community. We've had organic growth, and a lot of the community members are really loyal, not just supporting the token. They're not just focused on the price. They're looking at the platform itself, how to improve it. Almost on a daily basis, we do get feedback from our community members that are using the platform. It can be something as little as, oh, I've noticed that there's a bit of a glitch here, or maybe there's something slow running here, to giving us ideas on let's share with other platforms. Like, can we share posts to other platforms? And the thing is, because Jordi has been so quick at working through the roadmap that he's developed, that's in the white paper, he usually gets back later that day with the fix, or with the suggestion that they've, already implemented. And I think that's part of the reason as to why the community has had such an organic growth, is because of this consistent back and forth, having this open communication with, our members. And more than anything, I think they've realized that the potential of Torogram is huge, and using the platform this early on can be quite beneficial once the platform obviously does grow and there are more users. So in terms of feedback, I would say community member feedback, I would say that in terms of project, I think, did you mention like what is our process of going through doxing? I didn't fully understand.
What's the process of like going through, and I guess what's the feedback been on, from those teams that you guys have worked with, or from the community on some of the projects that have maybe hit the Torogram platform so far?
Right now,
you had like 2 projects, right?
Yeah. So right now we do have projects that we're in communication with that really like the platform, and we've kind of gone through the process of, vetting them. We still are in the process of doing that. We've been quite busy. Obviously, Jordi has been like implementing a lot of the Web3 features into the platform of the last week, and we were obviously, like getting ready for the AMA. But hopefully we'll have some exciting news over the next week or two to be able to make a few announcements. In terms of the projects, we do try to make sure that obviously the team is doxed. We look through that project as clearly as we can. But to be honest, the projects that we're in communication with right now, They're very good with communicating, what they're planning on doing. They're very open, and we're hoping that this could also lead to future partnerships in terms of, the things that we provide on our platform and whether or not they'd be interested in promoting their products through our platform. Jordy, if there's anything else you want to add, feel free to just jump in.
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
I'm getting a couple of questions from the audience. It looks like we're going to have a really good discussion in the back and forth during the community Q&A section. So I appreciate some of you guys for reaching out early with questions, but I will kind of save them until, around the 45-minute mark is typically when we jump into, working in some community Q&A. Now, I kind of do want to spend some time focusing a little bit on the TORO token. So I know it's 5% buy and sell tax on that side of things, but just walk us through, Jordy, if you could, a little bit more on the tokenomics, the breakdown of the supply, and as well, kind of make sure you touch on that revenue sharing component that, you guys are planning to have in the future as the business and whatnot scales. Because I think it's top 50 holders and then your 10 most influential essentially profiles within the platform, right? Who kind of participate in that rev share program.
So the tokenomics, we have 100 million tokens in circulating supply. 70% is for Uniswap, and the other 30% is the 10% is used for team and support tokens. The other 10% is used for future TORO earnings, so use case of the TORO token, like staking or post to earn. And the other 10% is used for marketing and KOLs. Right now, we are in February. We are going to get the unlock for 20% of the tokens, which we will use for either staking or post to earn. Yet have to decide it, but our preferences go to post to earn because it encourages the usage of the platform. So people can earn TORO tokens while interacting with the platform. I hope it's not too loudy in here right now. Can you hear me?
No. Yeah, I think it's good where you are now.
Okay.
I guess the pool of tokens, how much have you guys set aside in terms of those, like the rewards or the incentive side for the payouts? And what are, if there's any terms, or I don't like the word rules, but I guess guidelines for people as you're paying them out, so that they're not just taking these tokens and almost essentially trying to interact with the platform just so that they could take tokens to turn around and dump them. Like, that's not what you want to get, where it becomes kind of like almost like a farming race in the sense of like engagement status, where people are just trying to maximize the reach on their posts just for their own benefit. And if there's, it's tough, right? So like you kind of know what I'm getting at, but it's tough to word it because people don't like having any restrictions around tokens if they're given out. But from a platform, you have to make it so that the incentive stays there longer term and it doesn't become about like that engagement farming type mentality, right? So I don't know if I can phrase it, but I definitely feel like you guys are understanding the question. So
so we are really thinking of ways to create a formula and to prevent people from spamming and or farming these TORO tokens, and also when we will create something that we can see how many tokens they've earned, and with the earned tokens, you will have the ability to do more on Torogram. So like with the earned tokens, when you hold them, you'll be able to have premium functions on Torogram.
Okay, so and that's some of the stuff you guys are talking about, like the NFT integration, the token price tracking, and whatnot. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like adding more tokens to your portfolio. It could be anything.
Okay. Now within the token portfolio tracker, that's a really cool kind of live tool to have in a social media platform for sure. Now, I guess twofold questions on this for me. With it being linked to social media, like what's the security around like connected wallets? Obviously, you don't want to make sure you're putting yourself at risk. And then the second question I wanted to ask on the token tracker is the API or like the data source. Are you like, who are you guys working with from a partnership standpoint to pull that data, to pull the information on the back end, and like how accurate is like the token tracking and the price tracking from a real-time perspective?
All right. So first, what was the first one again? Sorry,
I talk a lot. My bad.
no problem.
The first one was more so on the token tracking, how you guys add in new tokens. Security as well. Security around the wallets connected because of and risk potentially with people connecting their wallets and being on the
right. For the wallet connection, we just use a simple API which makes a connection to MetaMask. We only pull the wallet address. So we pull nothing else, only the wallet address. And with this wallet address, we make a connection to the blockchain. And to make these connections to the blockchain, we use APIs of Etherscan. Let me think. Etherscan, APIs to retrieve price data. So Uniswap, we use Uniswap, and we use Morales to pull data to like token info and token images. Right now, you can add like any token you want. Most of the wallets don't track prices of newly added tokens, but we are already tracking prices of tokens who are newly added.
Awesome. Now, before we go to the next question around like the data and stuff and a little bit more deep dive, what's the manual process like for somebody to add in a new token? Is it fairly simple? Just trying to figure out like exactly what the process is.
It's very simple. You can create an account You can create an account on Torogram and you can add multiple wallets. So that's a benefit of creating an account on Torogram. And 2, you can connect your wallet without an account, but you can only track one wallet. And it's very easy. We have a button to add a new token. You select the blockchain, the network, and after that you put in the address, the contract address. And our system is pulling automatically the information of the token, the price of the token, and the history of the token. So it's very easy to do. I don't know if I can split screen my screen, but
I think you should. I'm not the expert when it comes to the screen sharing side of Telegram.
I've never done it before.
You should have the ability to do so. I know obviously past guests have previously. So I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. Now, I'm curious, do you guys maybe plan, because there are some interesting tools out there and some utilities that are being built that have more of the kind of prediction or signal aspect to it. So do you guys plan on maybe partnering or integrating any form of signaling or like trend analysis into like your price tools or your portfolio tracker? Because I know TA is obviously, when it's AI based, not 100% accurate, but it's definitely a function that people are always looking for, right? Because they're always curious, is price going to go up? Is price going to go down? What's it doing? So I think for you guys, that would be a really good discussion tool to kind of have in, and that's going to add another layer to more on the education level of like the community and the people interacting with the platform.
Yeah, I think we haven't thought of that before, but I think it's a great idea you gave, Maurice. But I think also it's very dangerous to add AI to price predictions, because if you relay on price predictions of an AI, you might as well do your own research. I think it's always better. But we could provide the data to make predictions for price targets. I think it's a very cool discussion point for the team also to think of a feature like that.
Yeah, I think there are projects as well, like similar to Chart AI, that have those automated technical analysis features. So that could also be something in the future where when you add a token to the platform and you can see the chart, that you can use, let's say, like a Chrome extension to be able to apply technical analysis to that chart. But again, like Joey said, it can also be a bit dangerous or misleading because, especially with the crypto market, you can never predict when there's going to be a dump or a pump. So it's not something where people, consumers should be too reliant on it, but at the same time, it can give an indication of the overall trend.
And the reason why I was kind of curious about that is if you look at Twitter, and I'll use that as an example, some of these really large influential people, like a lot of the discussion that they do and a lot of the following that they have is all around TA, right? And that potential price action that occurs. I mean, you know, when we're talking about Bitcoin, you know, there's 100,000, 500K, 1 million plus sub influencer out there who, like, the bulk of their discussion points are all about price action and price movement and trend analysis on larger tokens. So, you know, I think if you guys, again, even if it's more so, I agree it's risky, but if you stick to like trying to engage or add in your own value piece that would maybe give people like that a reason to try out your platform, right? Because if they got 1 million plus followers on Twitter and all of a sudden you guys build in this cool portfolio tool where they could do live like TA and live tracking on the platform through their portfolio with their audience, like that's a very unique experience, right? And it's all about trying to create, you know, when you're talking about social media, it's all about trying to create an experience, I think, for somebody that's going to stand out and cause them to change and create that word of mouth that's going to, like Twitter, like Instagram, like WhatsApp, that's going to try and take you to that next level, right? And, you know, that's the ultimate goal, sure. Although it's a longer road, like that's kind of, yeah. So just curious about that. And it could fit quite well.
I think it's not really hard to create something like that. Well, I speak for my own experience, of course. I have a lot of software development experience, but like we have the historic data of coins, and usually you know the pattern. You can learn. You can make the AI learn the pattern. You can make the AI learn the information about the token and the history of the token. So yeah, it could be quite nice to have something like that implemented in the platform. Yeah, for sure. It's quite unique, like you said, and might get a lot of eyes to the platform.
Again, it's just I know this would be more of a like kind of an addition, a longer term maybe add in, but
yeah,
like,
oh man, I love it.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, right, you guys are going to do your thing. You're going to, you know, build what you're building already, you know, and hopefully throughout that development, that time, you guys can get the project or the platform to a certain level of users. And then, you know, it's kind of like once you hit a certain level, then you're going to have the ability to maybe pull the eyes of some bigger people, right? So it's not something necessarily you have to focus on like Bitcoin or anything TA in the early stages, but as you guys scale, if you could start to add in that like higher level layer that maybe can pull in these 250, 500K, 1 million plus sub accounts, like that's going to, like, just the boost it's going to give you. Like if you pick up 1 or 2 of those accounts, you could double your user base overnight potentially, right? So like those things in the future are exciting to work towards. But yeah, like it would definitely be more of a future-based discussion, and you guys would kind of have to get to a certain level before they would, you know, likely catch wind. So it's exciting, and you know, it's definitely shows you guys are open to feedback. And I mean, with your background and
coding, definitely.
Yeah,
we every day we get feedback from the community. So yeah, if the community gives feedback, I happily note it down to work on it. And most of the times, the next evening or maybe the next day, the feedback is already in the update. So yeah, we are pretty open for advice and suggestions.
I'm getting some good feedback as well from the community on the AMA. So again, I do want to maybe throw a question or two from the community. This one from London, Ryogabon is their username. So as you guys are trying to create, kind of a new social Web3 platform that still maintains some of those elements of like what you would see in a traditional centralized social system, like what are you guys doing to try and like push the Web3 versus the Web2? And we use the example of Filecoin being like Filecoin, which is kind of like one of the leaders when it comes to like the Web3 social decentralization side, couldn't fully make the jump away from Web2 and still had to integrate some of like the traditional centralized kind of like models into their platform. So he's curious if you guys are fully going to try and be like a decentralized social platform, or if there's still going to be some of those elements of centralization that, ties in potential, regulation, risk and stuff for people promoting on the platform, I think is his concern.
Yeah, well, so we are trying to avoid the regulations and centralized features for the platform. Like we are building it to have a decentralized platform. Right now, any decentralization, well, we are still in early stages, but yeah, we are thinking of many ways to make the platform fully decentralized. So yeah, right now we're in the early stages and we are building on the fundamentals of social media and the Web3 tools. After that, when there's a lot of adoption to Torogram, we surely want to move on to thinking about ways to fully go decentralized.
You know what? I like that, and I understand it's going to like you maybe have to start with certain features or functionality kind of tied, maybe to more of a traditional scaling model to start. And then once you kind of establish a bit more of brand power, brand strength and recognition, like that allows you a bit more flexibility kind of as you tailor off and define your own kind of like vision and what you're trying to achieve here at Torogram. So no, makes sense in terms of the answer. And, I think most businesses or, Web2, Web3, have to follow a traditional or semi-traditional model until they hit a certain level, and then it allows more flexibility. So no, that makes sense, Jordy. And I appreciate the answer, and thanks for the question, London. That was a good one. Definitely outside the box. I like that you pulled in an example of another project that's kind of trying to make that jump. So for me, now going into the more Web3 side of the platform, and this is where I wanted to talk about some of the detail on the premium features, starting with the NFTs, because that is a really interesting one, and it aligns, and I keep bringing up Twitter, but it does align really well with something. When I first joined Twitter in 2021 for the crypto side, they were in the testing or early stages of the NFT Blue, like Twitter Blue NFT integration. And there were a couple of hiccups that they went through, but since obviously they have worked on it, my question to you guys is, how are you going to maintain like the integrity on people's profile pictures, NFTs when it comes to authenticity, so that their images aren't being just copied by other people on the platform? I know that was a big kind of hurdle that Twitter had to work around in the past.
Right. I understand your question, and it's already implemented. If you want an NFT as a profile picture, you can you have to connect your wallet. We are spitting through the NFTs you have in your wallet. When you want it as a profile picture, we check if it's a real NFT. So when you have a profile picture, when you have an NFT as a profile picture, you have an NFT badge, and we are checking the blockchain if you really own the NFT. if the NFT is a verified collection, you will even get a glowing circle around your profile picture. So it really shows off your, you have a really nice, awesome NFT, like a Bored Ape. And if it's copied, it's just a picture. So you know it's not a real NFT. You won't have the NFT badge. Okay. It's already implemented in Torogram, so you can test it.
That's awesome. Now, from the verification standpoint, say for example, I'm up there, I have my wallet connected, I got, you know, my two favorite, you know, NFTs that I've been cycling between on my PFP, and all of a sudden I noticed that, like, you know, my supposedly one of one rare from X collection is being rocked by somebody else on the platform, maybe a fake, maybe like a knockoff version of myself. I mean, there's 6 different Caesar calls that have tried to copy us on Twitter, and there's probably 100 on Telegram. So, like, what's the recourse for me if I notice that my one of one NFT is being rocked by somebody else on the platform? Could I report that person? And then what's your, I guess, action plan policy on investigating somebody who's been reported? Because if it's just copied from like my picture and then saved on their computer and maybe re-uploaded or something, I don't know if you have that, but you could do that on Twitter, and that obviously hurts that. Like, how do you prove it? Would you just have to verify their wallet connected their profile? And if they don't have the NFT, like, would you just automatically remove that picture from their account and they would essentially have like a blank photo for the time being? Or would there be any penalties imposed on that person for trying to maybe copy or steal IP?
Well, you're almost taking every word out of my mouth, but yeah, exactly like what you said. You're connecting your wallet, so Torogram is checking for the NFTs you own. If you have an NFT as a profile picture and it's a verified collection, the verified collection is being handled by the API of I think it was Maurice, and so you can see if an NFT as a profile picture is verified or is a knockoff version. If it's a knockoff version, you would just have the NFT badge and no check mark. If it's the real version of the NFT, you will have the check mark. So you can see it's the real NFT. And yeah, the reports, how we handle reports. If there are any reports of misbehaving or like one of one NFTs that are rocked, we will have to create something to prevent something like that. But yeah, we have to think about it. But it's a good suggestion. It's a nice advice to do. So we're very open to it, and we will definitely think of ways to prevent something like that happening.
And kind of going off of that, a community member here, username, screen name's all Caesar, username's all Buck. Just like other platforms, I mean, I'll use Telegram as an example. There are certain actions that can lead to restrictions being blocked. And a lot of the times, you know, the reporting process is very, I'll call it very soft when it comes to Telegram. Like, I've been put in jail for sending one DM to somebody saying they want a prize, and they reported me, and there's no ability to almost appeal that report, right? So that's his question is, how quickly will you guys be to lay an action on an account? What is the appeal process like if somebody's potentially hit with some restrictions that may have been wrongfully imposed? And yes, it's all about kind of like the resolution process on kind of reporting and getting banned and like customer support almost.
Well, at first we created this platform to have a decentralized platform and to talk freely about crypto and anything you want. So about restrictions, we are very soft about it. But of course, we will have features to prevent something from that happening. So how can you prevent something? Well, the first thing we did now with the NFTs is only have an NFT badge when it's a real NFT. And when it's a copied image, you won't even have the NFT badge. But if the NFT collection is verified, you are getting a check mark. So people can see if the profile who has this picture like a Bored Ape and it's a picture or an NFT, they will see it on the profile. And that's just one way of preventing something like that happening.
No, I like that. Now, another kind of somewhat related question from Killswitch Engage. Their question was like around mass reporting or alt accounts, right? Because we've seen the problem with botting, and alts definitely plague some of these past social media platforms. So what are you guys doing when it comes to trying to prevent, and I'll use the word trying because you can't control, like you can't prevent everything. There's still ways people will try and, get alts in there, work around the system. We know how people operate. Like that's just human nature. Is you say you can't do something and a certain group will be like, yeah, watch me. So like we know that's going to happen. What do you guys have in place to just try and maintain the best integrity when it comes to real versus like bot accounts?
Yeah, so just like every other platform, we are going to make it hard to automatically create accounts with a script by using ways of like captchas or even create our own captcha. So there's a company called reCAPTCHA, which most of the platforms use, and I think most of the scripts right now online are very used to the script of reCAPTCHA. So if we build an own one, we make it already harder for bots to automatically create accounts on Torogram. And of course, email verification. That's something to, it costs time.
Just to add to that as well, with many of the premium features, so for instance, if you hold a certain number of TORO tokens, you may be eligible to enter a premium group for key influencer. So one of the good things about Torogram is it almost mixes the best features of Twitter and Telegram. So people that are key influencers can have obviously call-outs within their premium group. Now, a lot of the value that some like retail investors get is from these influencers. Now, to be able to even access the group or comment in these groups, you would need to hold a certain number of tokens. And I think that would be a big wall for bots because they wouldn't be able to access these premium features to begin with unless the person who was, orchestrating it distributed a certain number of tokens to every single bot account to be able to access those premium groups. So I think in terms of like those features, they would be heavily protected in that regard.
Appreciate that, guys. And I just wanted to send a quick response back to Vlad, just like Killswitch, if he has any, obviously, if he has any clarification or any further questions, just have him send them over to you and you can flip them my way. But really, really solid. Now, a question here from Karen, because she noted that in phase 2, it looks like you guys are going to be adding and putting together more when it comes to the video streaming or live streaming within the platform. One of the issues that have plagued other, social media apps in the past is that a lot of their streams or more video experiences have issues with bugs, often lag. And, what we've seen with some of the recent Twitter issues is that they're actually just dropping and you're losing like the space or the call as a whole. So she was curious, what are you guys doing to ensure that as you scale out the video side, the experience stays as smooth as it has been so far?
Yeah, sure. Good question. And happily I can answer it because I've really much experience in building chat apps and video calling apps because look, I own a software as a service business for employee scheduling. And one of the suggestions from a business owner was that he wants to communicate with his team in the app. So what I did in the app is you can chat You can go on a video call. You can live stream your screen or yourself, and all that kind of things. So I'm not really worried about lagging because we're using a service that's quite well. I don't know the name. I have to look it up, but we are using it and it's going quite well. There's no lag at all. So I never had any complaints from any business owner.
No, awesome. No, I appreciate that. And Karen, good question.
Good question.
In the early stages, you guys put a maybe maximum of people who could be on live stream at one time just to see what the experience is like. You could almost like get some of your top influencers together or top accounts, biggest accounts on there and allocate them a few test slots and run it that way to see what the flow is like, again, there's a lot of different things you could do to test out and build it with people that are already using the platform. So no, awesome. Now,
yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So first, the premium users are going to be able to do live stream and chatting and that and video calling. So they are the first ones to test it, and the influencers. Yeah.
Are you guys going to have tips built into that? I know that's something that platforms are working more and more towards as well. We see it on Twitch and YouTube primarily with streamers. If they're audience is enjoying the content being discussed, they just flip them a quick, every platform has their own form of currency, but there's a dollar kind of breakdown, dollar valuation as compared to that currency of the platform. What is it on Twitch? Is it like lightning bolts or something? Or was that Mixer that might've been Mixer back in the day on Xbox, where you could like give somebody lightning strikes and it was like, every 100 lightning strikes was worth $1 amount. And it was a free donation. And kind of curious on the tip side, if that would be an option you guys would add in as well. And then I have one question about the token tracker on multi-chain. So if this is something that you guys are doing across multiple chains, or if this is something you guys are doing more so price tracking, portfolio tracking specific to ERC20 or Ethereum right now to start.
All right. We are implementing a donating system, or tips, as you would call it. Influencers or streamers have the possibility to receive it in Toro or receive it in any token they like. So like Ethereum or dollars or Bitcoin. They will have the possibility to choose of that. They can also create paid channels and paid following. So if someone wants to follow like you on Torogram, and you are asking like $10 to follow you, they will have to pay you a one-time fee or a subscription. You can choose. It's all up to you. So we have a lot of possibilities and a lot of freedom for influencers and other users to receive tips and receive subscription money. And now about the portfolio tracking. We track tokens right now from Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Kronos, Polygon, Arbitrum, and Base. So you can add custom tokens from these blockchains right now, these networks, and add it to your portfolio, and we will calculate the price for you in real time.
Like that. And no, I'm definitely, I understand, these things are going to take time to scale. If I were to ask you as the team, like what is your kind of like number one priority right now for either the token, or I would say more so just the product, because kind of you guys are in that situation where if you show a good product and you get people using it, the more people start talking about the brand, like the token inherently through word of mouth can start to pick up traction, right? Just because like the revenue isn't going to be there yet. So like the token benefits, of holding and stuff aren't really there. But from an adoption standpoint, if you can grow the user base, I think that gives people the incentive to really hold the token longer term, right? Because they see the movement and the positive kind of momentum happening, and understanding how things take time to take place. That's kind of for me, it's all about adoption. And if your user numbers are growing, like, people who are holding the token should probably hold it to see how you guys handle the growth of user base and stuff. So you guys will be in a good opportunity, have a good opportunity, as user growth happens, just inherently.
Yeah, so like you said, if people hold Toro tokens, they will be able to earn Toro tokens in the future by interacting on the platform. So that's one use case of the Toro coin. Another use case of the Toro coin will be that you'll be able to extend the features of the Web3 features. So maybe we will, let's say, we will make it possible to add 5 custom tokens to your portfolio. And if you want to add more tokens, you would have to buy premium or buy Toro tokens, hold Toro tokens. That way you can add more tokens. So there are so many use cases for the Toro coin. But right now, like you said, the main focus right now is to build a platform, build the fundamentals of the platform, and make sure that it's ready to use. And when it's ready to use, we want to pull influencers to our platform, encourage them to use the platform by creating paid channels for them or paid following, so they will be able to earn money on Torogram. And by having these influencers on Torogram, it's already an organic streamline of gaining an audience for Torogram.
For me, I'm pretty excited to see what you guys are able to do. The fact that it's not token gated, there's going to be a couple different options in terms of choice for rewards, and necessarily it isn't all going to be done in Torogram or in Toro is great. The NFT and like the premium features are definitely, something that we've seen on Twitter be like a really big feature, right? And it kind of allows you to stand out as an influencer if you are somebody who focuses on the crypto side of things. But I do actually, because we have spent most of the time talking about crypto, DeFi, Web3. What do you guys do from a platform perspective to people who have nothing to do with DeFi, right? Like, there are massive accounts out there that have nothing to do with crypto, nothing to do with DeFi. So how do you guys tailor to them or try and add value to them? If maybe if the token isn't necessarily what appeals to them, how do you try and get some of those people onboarded via partnerships, fiat, whatnot?
So would you like to answer that, Sultan, or should I?
No, you can go ahead for this one. That's completely fine.
All right. So right now we are mainly focused on the crypto world. We are building this right now for crypto, for people who would like to talk about crypto, who would talk freely about crypto, who would like to use Web3 tools on social media and integrate it into social media. Like, later on, you will be able to showcase your portfolio and your profile. If you want to, you can always hide tokens you don't want to show. You can hide NFTs you don't want to show. So it's all up to you. But we think it's nice to have these features into a social media because that's something new and unique. Twitter doesn't have, Facebook, Instagram don't have. So right now we're mainly focused on the crypto. But of course, when there's a lot of adoption from the crypto world, you almost automatically shift to the normal audience, because we will advertise that you can talk freely on the platform without any hard restrictions, let's say, because you can't post any porn or something like that. We will hide that, but other than that, you are free to discuss anything on the platform.
And I think just that as well, in terms of attracting audiences, the approach that we're taking is developing the best product that we can develop for now. As in, we're not necessarily so concerned on everyday price action or whatever else. What we're trying to do is provide as much of a good experience on the platform for the users. And just generally with market sentiment and upcoming bull runs, you see a huge influx of retail investors. And what you may find is that with many of the influencers using Toro, having these premium groups, everyday people who normally use Web2 platforms may be inclined to joining Web3 just because of this new fashion of, oh yeah, things are pumping. I want to know how to get into this. I want to learn more about this like space. But what we're hoping is that by the time they join up, even after the bull run has finished, that they'll find that the experience of using the platform is so smooth and so unique compared to other Web2 platforms that they've used before, that they'll continue using the platform. They'll see the benefits of the product, not necessarily just to do with crypto, but just in terms of user experience. They'll find that Torogram is something that's fairly different. So that's what we're hoping as well. So more of an organic shift than active advertising. But obviously the advertising will come as we get bigger.
Getting a lot of good questions, guys. Like, honestly, really good questions here from people. I'll maybe throw one or two more over to you. And then obviously, as I always do with projects, if there's any final calls to action, closing statements, things that we missed throughout the AMA that you really wanted to touch on, I kind of give every team, 5-10 minutes to close things out on their side. So two questions here. First is, they kind of tie into one another. So first is, how do you guys handle, crypto being so global and the essentially multi languages that occur within this space? Are you guys set up for the platform to be, have translation options? Yeah, they're just trying to figure out like how inclusive it is, like based on language and region.
Yeah, so right now we're very early stages. So we build it first in English, but I have already thought about a multilingual website. So yeah, it's very easy to convert it to more languages. We just have to reach out to people who are speaking this language as a native language. Reach out to them, give them the file to translate all of the keywords and words. And when I get back the keywords, I can implement it in the platform, and you will have automatically another language to choose from. So yeah, but right now we are focused on English, and when there's more adoption and we are bigger, we will add more languages to the website.
And then this one is very specific. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this. I personally hadn't before. Our community member Aviator had brought it up in his question, but one of the problems over the years has definitely been language barrier when it comes to social media. Very interestingly enough, Samsung just had a pretty cool breakthrough with their live translate program on the S24 series, which allows you to speak to somebody from another country on a live video or voice call in the person's native language while speaking in your native language with a live translation happening. Torogram, curious, awesome. Again, I'm in the early stages, but he's like, I would love to personally see Torogram, if possible, try and implement a technology or something like this in the future. It would give them a clear, cut advantage when it comes to global use case. Like nobody else has something like that. So yeah, no, I didn't know that, Aviator. So just, good on you for staying up to date with this tech news. That's pretty cool stuff. And yeah, I threw that to you because it's just an outside the box question.
Yeah, it's an awesome feature to have, but yeah, I am not very well developed on AI developing. Of course, I can teach myself how to develop AI. And when I'm developing AI, I can also do research on how to implement something that translates voice into code, and from code to another language. So you would have to use AI to like change the notes of the voice and change the how do you say it? The voice. But yeah, it's a really cool feature to have into Torogram. But as of now, we're not really focused on AI. It's for the future. Right now, we are really focused on the fundamentals of the social media and the Web3 tools of Torogram. After that, phase 5 of our roadmap, we are thinking of new ways or new features to implement into Torogram and to extend the features of Torogram, so a wider audience can use Torogram.
Awesome. No, I'm just sending a quick response over. Really cool insight, Aviator. Again, I know that's, Samsung's pretty large company. They got a few extra resources maybe the boys over here don't have at this point in time, but really interesting kind of market transition that could occur with this extra inclusion, through different languages, man. And as Web3 grows, as DeFi or crypto, the blockchain itself kind of gets bigger and more adopted, something like that, a program like that, just could become more open sourced and maybe more easily implemented into other tech, right? So that's the cool thing about technology, and like what the boundaries that we're seeing being pushed allow is, once the change happens, once it becomes, known and the source code is potentially opened up, that allows a much more equal playing field. And I think that's kind of where we're at. There's still obviously competitive advantages that exist out there, but I feel like the source code side of things, there is a little bit more equality on the playing field these days versus maybe like 10, 15 years ago. Definitely would be something I just personally didn't know even existed, and definitely something to maybe keep an eye out for, but it would certainly be more of a future roadmap addition and add. But cool stuff, Aviator.
Would be very cool. And who knows, maybe when we are bigger, we can partner with Samsung. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about these spaces. I've literally hosted projects in early 2021, and they're still alive today. And they've, partnered with Bungie, Bungie.net. Like, they made Halo, and I was like a huge Halo nerd back in the day. So I was like, that is amazing. So again, for me, that kind of wraps up the audience questions just via chat. There maybe are one or two more if you guys have an extra 5 minutes. I wanted to get in over voice chat. I had Greed and Razor with their hand up from the early stages, and they typically have some good ones. So again, if you guys got 5 more minutes, we'll get 2 more questions in over the mic, and then we'll allow you guys to wrap up closing statements. But that's kind of around that 90-minute ballpark, Jordy, that I had mentioned to you. So I don't want to keep you guys too late into the evening over there.
No, yeah, sure. Of course. Go ahead. Thank you.
Awesome. So Greed and Raise, we'll get your 2 hands unmuted. And then again, Greed, I know your mic's typically pretty quick. If you want to go first, we'll get Razor in second.
Sure. Thanks, Maurice. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. Great project, by the way. Okay. I have actually 2-part question here. I'll be very quick about this. This is about, first one is about related to narrative building. How does Torogram envision the users doing writing up narratives on the platform, and what role does this storytelling play in the user experience?
Can you elaborate your question a little bit more?
Oh, sorry.
Question
is kind of, and that's okay. Good. I'll just ask another one. I've heard earlier that there was a suggestion on a business owner that you include communications for teams on Torogram. Yeah. Is it possible that you can handle communication channels like related to Slack within a team setting? And what unique advantages does it bring to if you put it on your platform?
So I think what you're asking is if we are able to build a chat program and a video calling program into Torogram. Yes, that's planned for phase 4 or 5. So yeah, we will have a feature where you can chat with each other in teams or in like a channel or group. You can create your own group or channel. You can talk individually to other people on Torogram. So yeah.
Okay. And regarding with writing tweets on the platform, would there be like a right to earn mechanic for users who are passionate on writing threads or creating topics on Torogram? Are you open for that suggestion?
Yeah, so now you're able to post like 500 characters in a post, and you're able to create threads. So we are always open for any advice and suggestions. But is that your question or?
Yeah. It's a question and a suggestion. It's two in one.
All right. Yeah, we're very open to suggestions. So if you would like to talk about it and elaborate it even more, to add something to Torogram, you can always DM me or join the group and talk to me. We are very open for suggestions and advice. So our community knows that. So yeah. Awesome.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that answers no worries. That answers my question. Thanks, Maurice.
All right, awesome.
Thanks so much, Creed. Rays, I know you typically send them. I don't know if you got a mic over there working now in the new year, but if you do, jump on in. Okay. Okay, we got this here. Yeah. So this is from Rays. So the option to connect a wallet to profiles opens up the app to a lot of use cases, like buying a project directly from the application through customized bots that can interact with different swaps, for example, like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, or other dexes. Now, if the project builds this bot into the app, they can collect fees from the bot as well. Since we can browse, so that I think maybe that's one question. So I'll have that as a question one. And then the second part is, since we can browse a user's profile and view someone's NFT collections, if I see that an NFT that I really like in another user's collection, do you guys have the ability to direct message someone or participate directly in a P2P style bid where that user could then, if they're getting a lot of requests for an NFT, put it up for auction through your app or on your platform, which will allow then other users to live bid on it? So yeah, really two great suggestions raised. As always, wouldn't expect anything less, and that's why we're super patient with you over there and your mic. So yeah, great questions. I'll throw it to the team if you guys wanted to answer those. But thank you, Razor, for sending that through.
I'm sorry, Maurice. I already typed it in the to-do list because that's a very nice suggestion. That's something I would really like to add to the platform. It's a very nice one. Yes, I am able to develop something where you can buy tokens on the platform using Uniswap router or the PancakeSwap router or anything like that. But yes, I'm also capable of building an NFT marketplace on our platform, which users, if they get the demand for an NFT, to put it up for auction or for a price. So yeah, that's a very nice suggestion. And yes, I'm able to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's really cool. And then I think the first, both of those are really good. Like the direct buying, even having maybe like a small CA scanner built in just to ensure, like from a CA safety standpoint, there's no malicious code that can be checked, and simplify the buying process. Like that could be something, again, like I love the suggestions. I love the feedback. And I know from a development standpoint, it takes some time to implement and integrate and, ensure that it fits. But, with your background and stuff, it's those types of suggestions and almost like simplify or convenience ideas that can act as catalysts for you guys. I come from a traditional sales background, and the highest amount of sales that you lose is just by having people having to do more steps. Like if I'm like, you go here and you click one button and you buy it, probably 80% of people would buy from me. But if I'm like, if you have to go here, then you have to create an account, then you have to do this, then you have to do this. Well, that 80% is maybe down to like 15%, right? So just from a sales funneling and stuff perspective, really cool. More value you can add, more you can simplify it in one spot. It's just going to kind of increase your offering. And great idea, Ray. Love the suggestions, and more so, I'm a big fan of these utility projects that kind of grow slowly, right? Like you guys are just building behind the scenes, you're going to take your time, you're organic at this point, and that's the type of personally plays that I like. I always say if everyone's hyping something up so much and it's all you hear on your timeline, maybe like, look elsewhere. Like there's certain plays. Yeah. Like, if it's a meme, sure. But if it's like it's just for me, I like to find the undervalued, like those hidden gems out there that, are working hard, are building, and you just never know when they could kind of see those catalysts to help them take off. And, I like your attitude, guys. I appreciate you spending the extra, half an hour, 40 minutes with the community to answer some questions. Really good feedback and suggestions, though, throughout the AMA, which I was commenting to my coordinator, like probably some of the best questions and most engaged we've seen the audience in a little while, which I love. That's bullish for me as a host. And so if there's anything we missed, any final calls to action on behalf of the Toro team, this would be your time to do so. But it definitely seems like, based on the questions, feedback, and stuff, people are understanding the platform and what you guys are trying to do, and they're they've added some cool little ideas and some value. And so thank you first and foremost to my apes here for killing it on this one and really diving deep. And thank you for you guys for pushing. It's been a month and a half, not easy to do with the hype and the narrative changing as quickly as it has. Just keep growing. And, as you guys, release stuff and have updates, we'll try and get you some support and recognition, on Twitter or Telegram, wherever it may be, and open up some additional networks for you, being that it's your first project. So great work.
That would be really awesome, Maurice.
Yeah, definitely helping you guys out. I like your attitude. And the fact that you haven't rolled out 12 projects before this is good for me. I don't like those serial developers. So, I'll pass you the mic to close out on behalf of the Torogram team. But, SA, Fatality, as well as Jordy over there, really, really great presentation. And I'll thank the three of you for spending the extra time with us.
For sure, Maurice. Thank you very much. I like the AMA very much. You're a very down-to-earth person. You were easy to talk with. So, thank you for this AMA. It was a really great opportunity. And it was just awesome to talk to you and talk to all your audience. So.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Maurice. I just want to say I did really love your energy throughout this AMA. It was very, very easy to engage. And with your community members as well, the questions that they ask, I think that's one of the benefits of these AMAs, that we get such great ideas. So it's definitely something where we're going to walk away from this and we're going to think about some of the new stuff that we could add because of your community members. And to your community members who may be listening, who may still be on the fence, feel free to just join our community if you want. You'll see how great it is. You'll see how much we engage with the community, how frequent our updates are. And obviously we can't give too much away, but we've got some really exciting things in the pipeline over the next coming weeks. So we hope to share that with you guys. Once again, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys again. It honestly was a blast. And as I mentioned, Jordy, this week, the utility showcase just got pushed back. So it's going to be, what day would that be? What day is it today? I never know what day of the week it is. It's 23rd. That would push
Tuesday.
It would be February 1st, I guess, because it's 30 days in January. I don't even know anymore. We'll figure it out, but it'll be next Thursday. So 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UTC. So same time as the AMA today. I will drop you the Twitter Spaces link in the post from CoinMerge once it goes up next week. And you guys can just quote tweet that, let your community know so they can hit it up with some engagement. But I definitely think Funk, the host over there, he's a utility guy like myself. He's the COO behind the scenes of CoinMerge, and I think he's really going to enjoy what you guys are building. And definitely, from a cap perspective, still low cap. And based on how long you guys have been alive and what you pushed out from developments, definitely, looks to be undervalued. But again, we don't give financial advice here. So jump in, do your own research, and I will definitely be trying to, support and add a little bit of extra value to you guys over there. So we'll be in touch. Jordy, SA,
yeah, thank you very much
for the rest of your night. And until next Thursday, I'll have a good rest of your week.
Will do. You too.
You too, man.
You too.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, boys.
Thank you.
Have a good